This video is a little different. We are in a different location and I have to touch up my makeup. So today's video is I quit my corporate job after 8 years, and I want to share with you all just 3 lessons of what I learned. So we're gonna put you guys here. That was a chaotic intro, but you know, if you're rocking, you're rocking. So like, I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to get into the corporate baddie life lessons, don't you worry. But for the makeup girlies, I have hooded lids. So like, it's hard to see and the camera's going to keep moving, but you see that? So I think I'm going to use, not I think, I bought this. This is L'Oreal Paris's Infallible Blur Perfection. It is way affordable and it works pretty well. I bought, if you're my complexion, I bought which complexion, Leslie? Don't even know what complexion to give the people. Translucent light. So it's 20 translucent light. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's multiple things that I'm just thinking about. I don't know if you can see that. So I got this this is perfect. I don't need to put that. Okay. I bought this at like the drugstore because I didn't want to buy another brand because it wasn't in budget, but I still need to look good, right? So we're going to talk about those life lessons. So I'm just taking I am not a makeup guru, but the one thing about me, I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and that's why I'm here. In case you're new around here, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Leslie. I am your favorite nurse yogi. I have been practicing as a registered nurse for 12 years, and I have been certified as a yoga teacher for the past 5 years. Wild. And I've been personally practicing yoga since 2009. I need to do the math on that. That's over 15 years, right? So almost half my life. And we are here on YouTube creating at least almost 30-minute videos. Your girl only has like 30. Okay. I have a little bit of space on this SD card, but we're going to get it out because today is my last Friday at my corporate job. And I also work my corporate job. I work remotely as a nurse, and I've been doing that now specifically work in the utilization management realm. So that's insurance. And I've been doing this now for over 5 years. I just use my kids as reference. And so anyways, I realized it was time to leave this job. I was in season 8. I should share that video a friend of mine sent me. They're about just like you after a while of being at the same company, things are just like meh, you know? And that's how this job felt. And then also I just had another friend. She went to a different company. So I'm going to that company she's at because she's like, yeah, Leslie, yeah. So I'm like, say less. So I'm going, I was scared. But it's a pay increase that I need. You get well-being days, which favorite nurse yogi, I love that. It's the same, like in the sense it's fully remote. So I'm good with that. And that was a question. I can do a separate video actually about that, like what questions they asked on the interview. But that was one of the questions was like, are you tech savvy? Because this type of job is very autonomous. So like, being a nurse in the hospital is different from being a nurse working from home. It's 2 different skill sets. And so I was like, yeah, and then I told that to my husband and he was like, you didn't tell them that about your content? And I was like, no, that's a separate video. But anyways, let's get into why I quit my corporate job after 8 years and what I learned. So the first thing is you do not owe people access to your next move. So what does this mean? The moment I said that I was leaving, curiosity shows up disguised as concern. Okay, I'm just reading. Let me just say what I want to say. So you do not owe people access to your next move. Why is that the first point? So after I said, because I also, when I first started my nursing career, I did a lot of bing, bang, bam, bam, boop, meaning those first 5 years, I was trying to find like my niche, not my niche within nursing, and I couldn't find it. And then I finally figured out utilization management, case management, that's my speed when it comes to being a nurse. And so with that being said, though, those first 5 years, I was just like ripping and running. And I kind of I feel like I probably burned a few bridges in the hospital. So like that I'm not proud of myself for, but I'm just admitting it. And this is a teachable moment. And so hindsight is 2020 with this job, because I've almost been with the current company, because technically next week is my last week, but this is my last Friday. Okay. I learned that I can't burn bridges. I can't burn bridges because God forbid, right? You know, ultimately my goal, like my end goal, is to be a full-time entrepreneur with my business, Lesline Does Wellness, where I show women between the ages of 25 to 35 how to build sustainable wellness habits, right? That's the end goal, is to be fully immersed in that alongside doing content creation, speaking engagements, all the things I'm actually currently doing. I just want to be doing that full time. That's not where I'm at this time, right? So, but God forbid, once I get there, right? And say, I'm like, you know what? Opportunities aren't coming as I need or whatever. I want to be able to text my supervisor and be like, hey, can I come back to the people's job? And she'd be like, of course, right? So I was like, as soon as the new job called me, I literally wrote the email to my current supervisor, like, hey, I am putting my 2 weeks in. I didn't even use chat. I wanted to just write from the heart, because my friend was like, use chat and write up something blurb. And I was like, no, I got to write this from the heart. That's my yogi side. So that just might be a tip for you. Like, and it's I have so many videos I can make for you guys, but because of my yoga practice, I know when to use AI, if you will. And I was like, that's not an AI movement, but I'm not going to be somebody that's like, AI. I'm going to use it, as ethically as I can. So I immediately told my supervisor that day, which was like around this time, the afternoon. And then she didn't respond. Mind you, it was like 3 p.m. So once you send something and I think everything is about me, and it's not. This is just me being super transparent there. I was like, oh my God, she didn't see it, or she did, and she's like, da 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 da, right? And so then the next day, it was in my inbox, and she was like, I wish you the best. Like, we're going to be sad to see you go. And what is your official end day, though? Because I think I said, like, I forgot what I exactly said in the 2 week notice, but I didn't give her, like, when's the last day. So I gave her that, and then that same day, she put on the calendar all team calls, everybody on my team, which I have a really small team, but she was just like, we have to do a team update. She said it. It was super awkward. And then, word travels fast. Word spread to this other person that no longer works in my department. Message me. Mind you, I don't talk to this lady. She messaged me and she was like, hey, I heard from so-and-so that you're leaving. Where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm going to a different company. I think that's what I said. I did screenshot it. I took pictures on my phone because I was like, people would not believe me if I said this. And sometimes I forget, like, how my, brain, like, removes things or whatever. But she pretty much was like, yeah, so-and-so told me. So she told me who told her, which I respect that. And she was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to go. She's like, are you going to a different department? Are you leaving altogether? I said, I'm leaving altogether. Where are you going? And I was like, I don't think I answered. And then she kept message. And she's like, I won't tell anyone. And I was like, girl, what do you mean you won't tell anyone? And so I think I just like, I'm going to a tech company. That's what I said, which is correct. But it made me so uncomfortable because it was like, do I owe her an explanation? Like, I almost was like, and like, I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but like, I was like, I don't owe you, because she is older than me. And there's a whole thing of nurses eat their young. She is a white women's. And so it's like this weird, like, and I'm just like, girl, like, anyway, so it was just weird. It was weird. And I was like, it also brought me back to like how I was raised, where I was raised to be very tight-lipped, which in this case is serving me really well, because don't owe an explanation to anybody. Like, and if you work HR, let me know, but I'm pretty sure this is correct what I'm going to say. When you resign and you do the proper 2 week notice, that's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to tell anybody anything. So not everyone who asks is entitled to an answer. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2, even supportive environments can trigger people pleasing. Oh yeah. Okay. So my supervisor is super supportive. She's actually, since she's been the supervisor with us, she's helped me become more efficient and more productive, right? And I thank her for that. I've learned how to use OneNote more efficiently. I've learned how to use Excel better. Like, these are great transferable skills, right? For my business. You know what I'm saying? I've learned also now how to use Copilot. That wasn't my supervisor, but like, I'm just being more curious about the tech side of things. And being that she has been so supportive, like, I have a really flexible supervisor career, like, work life integration. I don't believe in balance, has been amazing with this company. It's just compensation can be better. That's the biggest thing. The amount of work they're putting on us is just like, and the lady, let me go back to point one. The lady who was like, yeah, I won't tell anybody. She went to a different department. She didn't leave the company altogether. She's like, I can tell you this, where I currently am at is way less stress. And I said, if that lady is saying that, that's a sign from God. And then my other friend, who the company I'm going to, she said the same thing. She's like, it's not as much as you're doing. And I can trust that because they actually worked what I worked, you know? And that is another sub tip, is like, be mindful of who you take advice from. I had a drink. Okay, I gotta finish drinking this supplement. It looks like poop. It doesn't look good, but it has like all these vitamins and vegetables. Anyways, I'm almost done with it. But just be mindful of who you take advice from, right? I'm a nurse that works from home. I am going to take advice from somebody preferably that worked alongside of me. And so if somebody that worked alongside of me is now at a different company and is saying it's less work and more pay, what? And I've been in the profession for 12 years. Like, I think that was something else too, is that I'm like, because health, the hospital, I'm like having like flashbacks. The hospital is a wild place. It's very wild. And I still am in that mindset of like, I have to work hard. I worked hard to pass my NCLEX the first time. I worked hard to get hired within a highly rated hospital within less than 90 days of graduating nursing school. I worked hard. I have that mentality still. I'm processing together, y'all, that I feel like I still got to work hard, but I put my time in. I put my mother time in, right? And so with all of that, we did go off, but with my supervisor being incredibly supportive, so we had a update call, just me and her, and she was just like, yeah, let me know if you need anything. We'll do another update on your last day. And it was like, there wasn't awkward pauses. It was just like, she's just like going through her head, like, what else do I need to tell you? What else do I need to tell you? And I was like, do I tell her where I'm going? Do I tell her? And it's like, no, like, even if you have somebody that's supportive, that's in your profession, you don't owe them any of that. You do your work and you clock out, and you be cordial and kind, right? And also with that, I've given multiple times to this organization my yoga services for free, okay? So support doesn't mean obligation. Yeah, that's a great way to wrap point 2. Point 3 is the final one. Leaving after a long time reveals how much you've grown. 8 years is a long relationship, y'all. I was in almost a decade relationship with my job. There's the routines, there's the identity that I have within this company. There's safety and just knowing that monotony of like, okay, I do this, I do that. But then I notice, I don't want to say it was burnout, but like certain things I'm just like, and that's not good. Time to go. Growth often looks like discomfort, not clarity. So as soon as I got the call from the new job, I was like, crap. Because I knew, and my friend was like, you gonna get it. And I was like, oh my gosh. But once you get the actual call, I was like, fuck. Okay, this transition isn't just about a new job, it's about self-trust. And we will do a whole separate video about self-trust and how yoga has helped me with that, because I'm also in this interesting place too. I used to be scared, and I feel like and no matter what profession you are, especially during these times, that was something I didn't actually like my supervisor did. And she was scared as well, but she's like, we don't want AI taking our jobs. I have another video en route, guys, about that. And I was like, damn, like, why are you making us fearful? You know, like that I don't like that. Like my yoga side don't like that. And so I say that to say she said that, and like old me before I had my own business and like personally developed and all that would have clinged on to that and got scared. But because I have self-trust and, you know, have a personal relationship with God, like I know no matter what, like say I got let go from this job, I will be okay. I know how to make money on my own. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do that, and that's where the fear comes. I know how to make money. I do. I know how to do it. You can honor where you've been without staying stuck there. So you can honor where you've been without staying stuck there, and you don't need to justify evolution. The key takeaway of this point is outgrowing something doesn't mean it was wrong. That's hard. Outgrowing something doesn't mean it's wrong. So in this case, outgrowing my current job doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. If anything, let's see, it means it worked until it didn't. And it also means that I'm growing. I outgrew a pair of shoes, or you know what I'm saying? You outgrew a shirt, or you outgrew, that's not a good example, but you get what I'm saying. Like when you outgrow something, that means like, okay, it's time to adjust, find a new pair of shoes. Side note, after having my second child, my daughter, I did actually my foot grew half a size. So I used to be like 8.5, 9. Now your girl a 9. Okay, so that was something I was like, things they don't tell you about being pregnant. And so to close this out, even though I'm like, I want to make this, if I'm going to be honest with you all, the 30 minutes. So we're going to keep talking a little bit. Some closing things, because I can go on these tangents as needed, but I do have to leave. I need to leave in 5 minutes. So we're going to do like 4 more minutes and we'll be okay. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But this experience reminded me that I can leave with integrity. So going back to immediately after I found out, I told my boss, I think that's the best move. I will tell you this. This is just something I didn't realize. So I have time. I have PTO. But because I put my resignation in first, I can't take off said PTO. So like today, I wanted to take off PTO. And then something in my soul was like, read the handbook. And the handbook is like, once you put that 2-week notice, we ain't giving you your little PTO. And I can't even cash it out. And apparently, like, I have friends that are like, oh, you other companies, they'll let you cash it out. Nope. So I was sharing that with my friend, and my friend's like, dang, like you should have put your PTO in first and then resigned. But then that would have delayed me starting at the new job. And I'm a very eager person, and I don't want to stay at this company any longer. Like I'm done. You can keep parts of yourself private. So you don't have to tell every little thing. Like you don't have to tell every little thing to your supervisor, because I think that's like a generational thing / cultural thing, because that lady that I told you all that messaged me privately, like, where are you going? I won't tell anyone. Which, come on, like, what kind of kid shit? Like, you're gonna tell. Like, I'm not a child. You're gonna tell. What was the saying? Like, like I said, I was raised culturally, because I am Jamaican, my heritage, keep your head down, right? And also, it's also that first generation American thing, which at this time, Lord God, that's a whole bag of mess. But one thing my parents do, they work, right? And they taught me how to work hard, and that could be to a detriment, right? But I feel like it's a blessing, because I have such a great life. And I was talking about with my friend, like, for me to be able to record this video, my kids are with their aunt watching a movie, like, and then, my husband's at work, like, and I could just enjoy my home. Like this, I remember this too. I wanted this, we're going off a little into manifestation, but I wanted a new home so bad. I was like, I want a brand new spanking home. I don't want nobody to shit in any of these toilets, even if, even though probably the construction workers probably did one shit in the house. But you know what I'm saying? I wanted this home so bad, and I got it, right? And it was because of starting with my parents. My parents, they came to this country first. They work day in, day out. I've seen them work. I see, and with seeing their work ethic, it's a part of me genetically. So now when I say it's to a detriment because now it's like I have to like tell myself when to turn off, because I will literally keep going till I just imagine like this eyeliner, you just rub it down until there's no more left. Like it would just be a little thing. I will do that to myself, but because of my yoga practice, I know I know the physical signs. Also because of being a nurse, I know the physical signs that may happen. Eye twitching, right? I had that happen a couple weeks ago. I didn't share that. I only shared with my husband. He was like, you probably need to relax. And he always makes fun of me because he's like, well, you're Jamaican. You guys have like 5 jobs. And yeah, I do. I have multiple jobs. But I remember I was switching a couple weeks ago, and I was like, okay, chill, right? And so I have to like tell that to myself. So I just encourage you, like, tell yourself, chill, like you'll be okay. And but yeah, just going back to like you can keep parts of yourself private. You don't have to, like, because some people, like that same lady, that same lady, like when we were on the same team, she would be like, thank you so much for covering me. And I get it. Let me not, because I can sound like a bitch how I say this. Because we work from home, I'm gonna ride this out for the 9 minutes, and then the place. Okay, so I have to go somewhere in Kissimmee, and the place is 50 minutes away, and it's 4:00 right now. But I'm always early. But it's Kissimmee, and it's 4 p.m. on a Friday night, and I have to go that way. But everybody should be coming this way, so it might say it's gonna take longer, but I'm going against traffic because I just imagine. All right, it's fine. I'm doing this. I'm doing 30 minutes. I'm doing 30 minutes. Okay. You can trust your decisions without over explaining. So yeah, going back to that lady, let's go back to the second thing I was saying. You can keep parts of yourself private. So like, because we work from home, and like my husband kind of had to explain this to me because I wasn't really understanding. I was like, he said it in a more technical way, but you're not sitting next to Susie Ann, right? You're not sitting next to her. So there is a disconnect of, you can't pick up on cues, like the physical, that's not the right word, but like somebody's facial expressions, you can't pick up on their energy when you're digital. So it does make it harder to connect as a team. So with that being said, we'll call her Susie Ann. Susie Ann, when she was like, when she would like say she would leave for like a week vacation, and she'd come back, she'd be like, thank you so much for covering me as I enjoyed my 7-day cruise in the Bahamas on Carnival Cruise. And it's like, girl, I don't need all that. But that's like, I don't even know if it's the millennial in me or it's the Caribbean, like the Jamaican in me. I'm just like, I just come to work to clock in and get the check. I have my business that fulfills me, my passion. So don't think I'm just like working no, but like I just come to the people's job so that I get that every 2-week check. I don't care, Susie Ann. Like, but I get from her, I feel like from her perspective, because also she mentioned like she's an empty nester now. So I have to be like, that's going to be me eventually when my kids leave the house, and you know what I'm saying? So like, I have to be a little more like, just put myself in other people's shoes, because she's just trying to connect. But then at the same time, something in my spirit is like, are you just trying to connect? Like, I see you, So, and then, yeah, so you can trust your decisions without over explaining. And that's how the call felt with my boss just, an hour ago. Was like, there was those pauses, and it's like, one, you don't need to fill a pause. Like, you don't always need to fill a pause. And I feel like this applies both when I teach yoga classes and in real life and in videos. You don't always have to have like something to say. And that can be hard when you have people pleasing tendencies. Oh, this just talking off the cuff really does help, because I didn't think I was going to say it like that. But yeah, I used to be very people pleasy. And now that I'm transitioning out of it, I feel like if somebody says I'm no longer and they fully are, that's amazing. But I'm not there yet, because I still have certain things where I'm people pleasy. I think everything's about me. I think everybody's always mad at me. Like, it sounds silly, but I know you can relate. And so I just, 100 days of YouTube. Woo! 30 minutes. Y'all, let me see how far this place is. Let's do this together. Hey, I'm not going to be able to make... Oh, okay. Oh. Hold on. Sucks. Okay. Anyways, let's see how far... Did she call? Hold on. Oh, gosh. Okay. Ooh, I thought she called. Oh, my gosh. Okay. This is why I should just focus on making the video. Okay, so now since I'm going to get there at 4:58. All right, y'all. We are going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much. I am going to trust that the algorithm will do what it needs to do. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.